Hi grade 10s, it's Miss Langarage here, and today I'm going to do our last video for assignment number 4, and this is our last assignment before the summative. Today we're going to do factoring again. Factoring is a big idea in grade 11 as well, so we want to make sure that we master it in grade 10. So make sure you get your pencil, your paper, your calculator. You want to be an active participant in this video. You don't just want to be sitting back and listening, because it really does help if you're doing some math while you're watching. We are looking at the last page of assignment number 4, lesson 7. And I've got this big chart. I've got these 4 equations in standard form in the first column of the chart. I want to tell you, ignore the chart. Just ignore it. We don't want to worry about the chart. All I want to do is I just want to factor. I want to change those 4 equations from standard form to factor form, and then I want to make 4 graphs. So don't worry about filling in that chart. Not important at all. I should have altered the assignment when I sent it to you the first time. So we're going to do the last equation. We're going to factor the last equation and graph the last equation from that chart, and then you'll do the 3 others for homework. So y is equal to x squared plus 7x plus 12. And remember that when we're factoring, we want to put it into brackets. We want to have 2 brackets that equals this. We need to find 2 numbers that multiply to that 12 at the end. So the options are 1 times 12, or 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. There's 3 different options that I could try. So I have 3 choices, but remember, it needs to work with this equation with the 7 in the middle. So I need to think about which one of those groups of numbers are going to help me get that 7 in the middle. So I go back to my chart, and I notice that if I were to use the 3 and the 4, then the 3 and the 4 would give us 7 when I add them together, and the 3 times 4 gives me 12. So it appears like that is the right choice. So let's use our chart method and make sure. So here's my chart. We always use this chart. And remember that when we have this chart, the inside of the chart is standard form, the outside is the factored form. So here I put the 12 and the x squared from the standard form into the chart on the inside. I know that x times x is x squared, and I need to know which numbers multiplied together to give me 12. Well, I've decided that I'm going to try the 3 and the 4. So I'm going to put the 3 and the 4 into the charts, and then I'm going to multiply 4 times. So x times x is x squared. 3 times x is 3x. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times 3 is 12. And I'm going to check to make sure that the stuff that's on the inside of the chart matches my x squared plus 7x plus 12. Well, I've got my 12, I've got my x squared, and when I put the 3x and the 4x together, it gives me 7x. So that means I've done this chart correctly. So don't forget, the inside of the chart is standard form, the outside is factored form. So that means that the equation in factored form is going to be y is equal to x plus 3, x plus 4. That's the equation. So I know when I have an equation in factored form, when I look at those 2 numbers inside the bracket, I take the opposite of those numbers, and those become the x-intercepts. So my x-intercept should be not plus 4, but minus 4, and not plus 3, but minus 3. So let's check with Desmos to make sure that is correct. Here's Desmos. You can see that it goes through minus 3 and minus 4. And if you could see higher up higher on the graph, you would see that the y-intercept is 12, because 3 times 4 is 12, and because the last number in standard form always tells us the y-intercept. Now, there's one thing we don't know yet. We don't know how to find that vertex. So we know that the vertex is happening at 3.5. How do I know the vertex is happening at 3.5? Well, because 1, 0 is at minus 3, 1, 0 is at minus 4, and the middle of minus 3 and minus 4 is minus 3.5. So that means that I want to take that minus 3.5 and put it into the equation so that I can find the y value for the vertex. So here's the equation in factored form. And I know that the x for the vertex is minus 3.5. So I need to cross off the x, and instead of putting x, put minus 3.5 in. And when I do that, I get minus 3.5 plus 4 is going to be 0.5. Minus 3.5 plus 3 is going to be minus 0.5. They're squished together, so I need to multiply. So that means I get minus 0.25. And when I look at the graph, that's exactly what I see for the vertex. The last question we're going to do together for assignment number 4 is this one. And it's tougher because there are negatives. Y is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 12. So whether it's minus 12 or plus 12, I still need to go to my chart and I need to look at the options for 12. So just like before, there are 3 options for 12, either 3 times 4, 2 times 6, or 1 times 12. But remember, this time it's negative 12. So if I'm multiplying to a negative, I need to make one of them negative, either 2 and negative 6, or negative 6 and 2, or 3 and negative 4, or 4 and negative 3, or 1 and negative 12, or 12 and negative 1. Because anytime you multiply a positive times a negative, it gives you a negative. So don't forget the other piece of the puzzle. I need to make sure that when I put that one positive and one negative number together, I get negative 4. So we want to go back to the list for 12, and we want to figure out which one of that set of numbers, if I made one positive and one negative, would I get 12? So when I look here, I notice that 6 and minus 2 gives me plus 4. 2 and minus 6 gives me negative 4. That would suggest that I want to use a 2 and a negative 6. So I'm going to go back to using my chart again. I'm going to try those numbers. I'm going to put the negative 6 in, the 2 in. I'm going to try my multiplication and make sure it works. And when I do that, I have x times x is x squared. Minus 6 times x would be minus 6x. 2 times x would be 2x, and 2 times minus 6 is going to be minus 12. And that seems to work, which means that the answer in factor form is going to be x minus 6, x plus 2. So in factored form, the equation is y is equal to x minus 6, x plus 2. And that means that one of the x-intercepts is at plus 6, and one of the x-intercepts is at minus 2. And let's just check on Desmos that we didn't make a mistake. I encourage you to always try on Desmos because it really does help you to know whether you're doing it correct or making mistakes. So here we have the graph, and you see that it touches at plus 6 and minus 2. The part that we don't know yet is the vertex. We know the y-intercept. We know the y-intercept would be minus 12 because 2 times minus 6 is minus 12, but we don't know the vertex. So let's look at our number line, and let's look for the number that's between 6 and minus 2. The number that's between 6 and minus 2 is positive 2. So I'm going to have to put the 2 into the equation for factored form. I'm going to have to do the solving, and I'm going to have to find the y value for the vertex. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with a little bit of homework today. Don't feel overwhelmed though, because this assignment is not due until next weekend. So you've got lots of time to finish it. You've got lots of time to ask me for help if you need help. I'm leaving you with this equation in standard form. Y is equal to x squared plus 8x minus 20. It's another one of these equations where there's a negative, so you have to think about that. But like always, we're going to use our chart. And if you were to look at the chart, and don't forget, I have shared it with you on Google Classroom. For minus 20, there would be a bunch of options. We want to figure out which one works best for this question. In addition to that question, you want to finish the top 3 equations from lesson number 7. We did the last one together in this video, but I want you to graph the first 3 and find the vertex for those as well. The second thing I want to say is that today, June 5th, there's a peaceful march of solidarity in honor of George Floyd. Such an important thing to deal with injustice in our society. And I know that some of you will be going. I'll be going myself as well. I just want to remind you that if you are going, please be safe. And also please consider or make sure actually you wear a mask. It's important to fight injustice. It's also important to take practical steps to protect yourself. So please, if you are going out today for that important protest, please make sure you're wearing a mask. Please leave me a comment in YouTube to let me know you've watched this video. Please let me know if I can help you. I am here to help you during these strange and terrible, difficult times. I can meet with you on Google Meet. You can send me an email and I can respond by email, whatever works best for you. But my job is to help you and I want to support you in your learning. Please have a beautiful day. Enjoy the beautiful weather. And again, please take care of yourself and stay safe.